Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the April 27th, 2026 Planning and Zoning meeting. I'm Planning and Zoning Chairman James Kirkpatrick, and at this time I'd like to ask that all cell phones and electronic devices be turned off and put to silent. Please note this meeting is being recorded. For those of you that have not been with us before, the Planning and Zoning Commission is comprised of 7 members. 5 members are residents of the City of Burlington are appointed by the City Council. 2 members are residents of the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction and are appointed by the County Commissioners, Alamance County Commissioners. For tonight's public comments to address the Commission in this meeting, please wait until called upon by the Chair and address the Commission from the podium. Comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and anyone who speaks must give their name and address for the record. Press and media can ask questions to the Commission during the public comment period. As a reminder, the Planning and Zoning Commission is an advisory board and makes recommendations to the Council. No decisions are final at the Planning and Zoning Commission meetings. Additionally, in the event of a tie vote 3-3, the motion fails. I'd like to confirm all the Commission members and staff members on the agenda are present. Will you please do a roll call?
Chair Patrick.
Present.
Vice Chair Beasley.
Here.
Member Roan. Absent. Member Mills.
Here.
Member Spadaccini.
Here.
Member Rayner.
Present.
Member Hill is absent. Member Britton is absent. Member Saunders.
Here.
You have
Any conflicts of interest on any item on the agenda? No. Motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held March 23rd, 2026. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Item number 4, rezoning 26-04. Don't do that. Rezoning 26-04. I have it committed to memory, but I don't want to show off. David Beal, applicant, to present a request to rezone a property from the medium-density residential MDR zoning district to the office and institutional limited use OI-LU zoning district. The property is 0.27 acres in size and is located on the west side of Shannon Drive, just north of the intersection of South Church Street and Shannon Drive. It is addressed as 104 Shannon Drive and consists of Alamance County tax identification number 120731. Jamie, would you give us the lay of the land, please?
Sure, be happy to. Okay, the applicant is making a request for changing the zoning. The property is located at 104 Shannon Drive. I'm circling it with my mouse, shown in teal hatch. It is owned by the Lowe Funeral Home and Crematory, Inc. The property abuts the existing facilities of the funeral home and associated uses. The current zoning of the property is medium-density residential. That's shown highlighted in the yellow. And the applicant is making a request to change the zoning to office and institutional with a limited use. Future land use designation of the area is neighborhood commercial. The white box on the top left identifies the 4 uses that the applicant is seeking as part of the limited use request. Live work dwelling, single-family detached dwelling, funeral-related services, and office and professional. You'll hear from the applicant if you'd like. They're in the audience, but my understanding is that they are seeking to change the zoning in order to utilize the existing building for their business purposes. And as it is right now, although you do not have any kind of development application or proposal in front of you, my understanding is also that they're utilizing the building as is, and there's no plans to change the footprint. The map on the right-hand side identifies, again, the properties in the neighborhood business future land use designation. So bringing this site into office and institutional brings it closer in compliance to the future land use designation. It allows for the existing business adjacent and common property owner to expand, and the applicant has requested uses that are compatible with their funeral service existing business. The staff does recommend this request, even though the existing zoning is inconsistent with the future land use designation. The proposed zoning brings it more into compliance. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Here? Any here? No. Anyone present that would like to, is the applicant here?
Yes.
Anything you'd like to say, sir?
Yes, if I may.
Please.
All right. Chairman Kirkpatrick and members of the commission, my name is David Beal. I'm with Lau Funeral Home and Crematory, 2205 South Church Street in Burlington. Lau Funeral Home and Crematory, Inc. has acquired the Lau family home at 104 Shannon Drive, and it's adjacent to and directly behind our current business operations, and simply would like to use the building for additional selection rooms and arrangement offices. The property is medium-density residential. We're requesting the change in zoning to office institutional limited use, and I believe historically O&I has been used as a buffer between residential and commercial zones. So this limited use designation would be actually a significantly less impact rather than the full O&I zoning. Again, as Ms. Lawson has indicated, the types of uses we are requesting are the live-work dwelling, funeral-related services, single-family detached dwelling, and office professional use. Of these proposed uses, the funeral-related services is the only type that we are currently considering for our current needs. The other three are just kind of forward-thinking options as things may change in the future, things that we would like as a neighbor behind our main operations. We're not planning to add any new commercial structures. We're not planning on any building modifications other than ADA compliance measures, such as an accessible ramp, which we would put in the rear of the property. There's no anticipated increase in traffic with the zoning change, as the visitors to this property will be existing customers of Lau Funeral Home Crematory. So parking will be in the existing spaces in the Lau parking lots. So there's no need to increase the existing house driveway to commercial standards, nor is there a need to remove the driveway. Our goal is to actually maintain the character of the house from the street view. The property currently borders medium-density residential to the north, office institutional to the east, general business to the south and west. And as Ms. Lawson said, currently, as it is zoned MDR, it is not consistent with the future land use plan. It does call for neighborhood business. Approving this request would bring it more in line and bring the property into compliance, certainly with the comprehensive plan. We've spoken with several property owners along Shannon Drive. We're not aware of any opposition. Lau Funeral Home and Crematory has been a part of this neighborhood since 1955, and we respectfully request your approval of this rezoning request so we can continue to be that good neighbor. And I thank you for your consideration, and Eric Rudd and I are here to answer or try and answer any questions you might have about this request.
Any questions this side?
No, sir.
No. Any questions this side?
Here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak to this rezoning matter? This side or this side? If we need to beat this around, we can. If we don't, is there a motion?
Motion?
Okay.
Make a motion to recommend approval of the request of property from the medium-density residential MDR zoning district to the office and institutional limited use OILU zoning district. The property is 0.27 acres in size and is located on the west side of Shannon Drive, just north of the intersection of South Church Street and Shannon Drive. It is addressed as 104 Shannon Drive and consists of Alamance County Tax Identification Number PID 120731. The motion is based upon the consistency of the proposed rezoning with the comprehensive plan, and that the future land use map in section 4 land use of the comprehensive plan calls for this area to be neighborhood commercial. The office and institutional zoning district provides a buffer between the adjacent residential uses and the general business zoning district. The proposed uses serve to complement the existing funeral-related service use. This action is reasonable and in the public interest, in that the comprehensive plan calls for commercial uses in the area. Future land uses and development must must be context sensitive to the adjoining residential development.
Wow. There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Would y'all roll call the vote, please?
Chair Kirkpatrick?
Approve.
Vice Chair Beasley?
Approve.
Member Mills?
Approve.
Member Strategini?
Approve.
Member Roan? I'm sorry, Member Rayner?
Approve.
And Member Saunders?
Approve.
Okay. Your case will move forward to the city council, and first it'll go for a work session, and then it'll be set for public hearing, and then it'll move forward for a public hearing for city council. Planning staff will inform you, and you'll also get the letter in the email. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, conditional rezoning 25-08. Ryan Moffett, applicant, to present a request to rezone 18 properties from the heavy industrial HI zoning district to the conditional industrial CI zoning district. The tract is 8.5 acres in size and is bounded on Durham Street, Hamilton Street, Elmira Street, Park Avenue, Robertson Street, and Adams Street, and consists of Alamance County tax numbers 126 261, 126 267, 126 269, 126 270, 126 276, 126 300, 126 302-126 305, 126 322-126 324. What are you laughing at? Man getting a little tickle in his throat. Lay of the land, please.
Sure. Happy to provide a summary for you. As mentioned, there's about 16 or so properties included within this rezoning request. They are shown on your slide, highlighted again with the teal hatch. The properties are currently all within the heavy industrial zoning district. They are all owned by the same entity. Essentially, the properties to the left are, if you will, appear to be all in one track. There's no obvious lot lines between all of those properties, and so there's a lot of common elements in terms of access points and fencing and parking areas that serve that entire site. And then the other two parcels that are opposite the street are intended as a former parking lot and no real improvements on that property. But the request in front of you tonight is to rezone the entire area from heavy industrial to conditional industrial. And I'll explain shortly the purpose of the rezoning request. The future land use designation, it's primarily traditional residential, and a small portion of the property is business park, light industrial. Okay, and so these are the 29 of 43 requested uses that are, let me start over. These are the proposed uses that the applicant is seeking as part of their rezoning request. The main purpose of the request is for a proposal for a recycling center. That is only allowed through a conditional industrial rezoning. No other zoning district allows for that particular use. In addition, the applicant is requesting 29 additional uses that are shown in yellow. All of those uses that are shown in yellow are currently allowed under the current zoning of the property. So really the only request beyond what's permissible now is the recycling center. Anyone have questions about that? Okay.
Questions for Jen? Questions for Jen?
It's sort of lengthy, but included in your packet, you'll also see the conditions and the proposals spelled out in the staff report and also in the draft ordinance. Essentially, there will be, the existing buildings and facilities on the property are non-conforming. However, there is no plan to expand the buildings, build extra buildings. Everything that currently exists today will remain as is under this rezoning request. There'll be no new buildings constructed. The property is like I said, it serves as one large lot with shared access, outdoor lighting, parking, ingress and egress, and fencing. So from the outside perspective, it appears as one large track. And it's my understanding, and I think it's included under number 12, that within 2 years of the conditional zoning ordinance, should it be adopted, the applicant would then combine all of the lots into one. As you have seen with other conditional zoning requests, there's an illustrative map, a concept map that coincides with the request. And so that has been included in your packet as well. It's meant to be illustrative to show the existing conditions and any other comments or changes with respect to the UDO. All of these development conditions are also identified and labeled on the map too. If there is to be any building permits for additional development that would fall under the technical review committee, the applicant would be required to make that request. I'm on number 8, if you're following along. The existing building on the property must be compliant with respect to the fire code and the building codes and any federal, state, and local regulations. The subject property would also be required to be in compliance with our general code standards, which would include noise ordinance and nuisance ordinances. Prior to any other uses occurring on the property, the applicant would make a request for a pre-application conference to discuss whether or not that particular use or uses falls under the umbrella of the uses that are requested here, to then determine whether or not changes would need to be made as part of the rezoning request, or they could proceed with a different type of application administratively. And I already mentioned about the 2-year time frame for the consolidation of the lots. So these conditions are tied to the applicant's rezoning request for the conditional industrial rezoning. Any questions on this?
Anyone?
I got just a question. On number 4, it talks about the building should be or probably maintained in the existing condition. It mentions about ingress and egress. Are these driveways, if they're a certain width now, will they be a certain width, same width? What if the trucks won't? I assume it's going to be truck, or what? Will it won't fit?
Well, the applicant's in the audience in case you want to ask them questions, but
I can wait till he gets up.
I can tell you that, you know, from my understanding and my personal view, the sites functioned as a industrial manufacturing site. The aisles that I've seen where the gates are, can't tell you exactly how wide they are, but sufficient for trucks and trailers to come in.
Yeah, I'm just.
There's a loading area and a loading dock as well.
That building's been there forever. Yeah, I know it used to be probably a mill at one time. And the vehicles have certainly gotten bigger and not smaller. And when I went out there, the driveways don't seem sufficient now for the days, depending on what Ryan says is going to be coming in, with the tractor trailers or lowboys or whatever going to be bringing the stuff in. If the driveway needs to be, if the TRC, I guess it'll be TRC review, is that right? Or
It has gone through TRC as part of this request.
I'm sure two of these roads are DOT roads, so they'll have to go for the import driveway permit. What if, upon review, it's recommended the driveway needs to be wider, or turn lanes, white turn lanes put in to help get the traffic truck in? Would that be allowable? Or if we say we go with the rezoning that, sorry, it's been approved as rezoning, you can't widen the driveway?
Well, I think the intent is, and I'll show you on the map. And so this orientation, north is facing this way. It just fit better on this slide. Durham Street is actually facing north. And so the applicant could probably depict this better, but there's a number of existing access points, and they have been identified on the plan. The NCDOT was part of the review
Right.
for this rezoning. And so at this time, they have made no recommendations for any modifications to the access points. And it's based on the existing conditions as you see it right now.
I think the truck entrances, I think Park Avenue is a city street. I think the other streets are city street. I think DOT only has Elmira and Durham. And I don't think it's any driveways there. But so the driveway access will be the city of Burlington's review. But I'm just curious that once you get out there, and when I was out there, there's a lot of trucks coming up and down Park Avenue, low boys and everything else. And just, I saw that statement, it's kind of curious, if things don't work out, if it looks like trucks can't enter, and I don't know what the truck traffic's going to be or the volume's going to be, I guess Ryan may can address that, but once this thing's open, everything's going, and the trucks have to cross the road to make a turn in there, or whatever the case may be, will there be, is there an option to widen the driveways if this is approved? That's my concern, is what it says that you can't do it. It says this is it.
So there is another entrance off of Elmira, and I don't think that there's a scale on the map that's meant to be illustrative to show the general location of the access points. Again, the applicants can speak better to it than me.
Yeah.
But I think that let them answer the question rather than me.
That's all I got right now.
Anybody else? Jamie? Gentlemen?
Thank you, Chair Kirkpatrick and Jamie and members of the board. My name is Ryan Moffitt. I'm a lawyer at the Vernon Law Firm. My colleague Brian Norris is with me. He and I have been working with Topia Real Estate and Topia Holdings. Topia Real Estate LLC owns the assemblage of property we're talking about this evening. And this, I will say, has been a special project, a great project. Alex Long is the principal at Topia that we've been working with, and Chad Mafine is the engineer we're working with. Alex, if the Topia folks want to introduce themselves, I think that would be a good thing. This has been quite a team effort between Topia and the city of Burlington. This zoning request is one piece of a large concurrent process that's going on at this site to clean it up and make it useful for Topia's business in the city. But I'd like to have Topia's folks introduce themselves if y'all don't mind.
Hi, I'm Nina Bellucci Butler. I'm one of the partners in the building.
I'm Carol Davis. I'm the HR consultant.
I'm Alexander Long. I'm the CEO and the managing
partner for real estate.
And I'm Marijke Long, and I'm a partner in the holdings, Topia Holdings. I'm Angie Wright, and this is my husband Steve Wright. We are partners in holdings.
Nice to have you.
Wes and
Should we go? My name is Wes Adams. Right now I'm an outside consultant helping plant renovation and operations.
Hi, my name is Guadalupe Torres. I'm running the plant. It's like a plant manager.
so almost everyone in the room.
See, that kind of clears things up for me. So,
I think you all know
Smooth
Mr.
move,
Chad
Ron.
Huffine. But everyone here this evening, Jamie and her team and others, many others at the city included, have really gone all in to make this facility usable again and productive again for Topia and the city and its surrounding area. It does consist of approximately, I think 16 or 18 separate adjoining parcels, and we are asking to have this parcel rezoned from its existing zoning, which is heavy industrial, to conditional industrial, primarily for that recycling facility use. Right now, under the heavy industrial zoning, the site isn't conforming to the existing zoning, and that is because the facility was built in 1913, and so being more than a century old, it just doesn't line up with heavy industrial. It doesn't line up with any of the zoning districts in the city, frankly, so we're here asking for a conditional zoning designation which will hold true to the existing conditions on the property, but using what we have in its existing condition to make it a useful site nonetheless, and in the spirit of our current ordinance today. Topia Real Estate owns the real property. Topia Holdings is the business that operates at the site, or will operate at the site. Topia Real Estate bought the property in August of 2018 with the intention of reviving 2025. I'm sorry, August 2025. Last year, they've owned it since.
You brought too many people.
Last
Ron.
year.
You brought too many
No,
people.
this is good. This is why I have them. Yeah. Thank you. Topia Holdings is a post-industrial plastic conversion company, mainly post-industrial, select post-consumer products, and this building, consisting of 216,500 square feet, has been in the city for more than a century. It was originally constructed and used as a textile dyeing and finishing facility for Burlington Industries. It has a good and a bad history. Its more recent history is not so great. If you know anything about textile dyeing and finishing, which I know very little, but I do know that it leaves bad things in the ground for a very long time, and this site being no exception. It has not been very usable as of late, and so the Topia Group purchased it knowing full well what they were buying, what's in the ground included, and the condition of the building notwithstanding, but saw an opportunity here to make it useful again, to make the investment in the city, to bring their business here, to hire folks. I think you've got, Alex, 17 current employees. I think that could grow to as many as 100 if we can get there, if we can get operational. As I stand here today, there's no guarantee that we get there. We're on the right track. There is a lot of work going on the interior that the team is working with city inspections and other departments to make sure that the necessary improvements are made. And I have to say, in the last 60 days, it is a different facility. It is a drastically different facility than the one we were walking in January and February of this year. So, as I noted, the reason we're making the zoning request is to bring the site up to date, like we are on the interior, like the Topia team is on the interior. The only practical way to make use of this facility is to use it the way it exists today. Because of some of the conditions, because of particularly what's in the ground and the environmental considerations, you can't just go in and demolish it. It's not economical to expect someone to buy this land, demolish it, and redevelop it from the ground up. Since the very beginning, the intention was to take this facility into the Brownfields program, and that's what they have been doing. If any of you all know anything about the Brownfields program, it is a very strict program. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's and follow all the rules from the start, including every other governmental authority that applies to the land, or you can compromise your eligibility for Brownfields use. And the Brownfields, as we know, is how we take what is otherwise unusable, contaminated sites and make them useful again. And so that is, again, just one of many components of the effort to make this a useful site. This has been a huge undertaking. As I've said, it's been a significant investment beyond just the purchase of the facility for Topia. Not only was it obsolete, worse than that, it's been blighted, it's been contaminated, and I think there's not a department in the city that's not very familiar with the impact, the recent impact that this negative impact that this site has had on the city. I think in particular, law enforcement and fire. It's been, in some senses, I don't use this as a legal term, but an attractive nuisance in ways. And so their effort to do this is, I think, welcomed by many in the community. From a zoning standpoint, Jamie, I appreciate you going through the exhaustive list of conditions, but I'll just give an overview of sort of the technical request. The recycling center is the primary use. That's what they're here for, and that's what we are wanting to accomplish with this rezoning. That's the use they want to make. There are a number of other uses that we have enumerated there as permitted uses for the site. I will say, though, given the constraints within the other 13 development conditions, we are not likely to see any of those other uses made without a renewed scrutiny, renewed review of the site plan and how any number of these other uses could be made. This is set up for the recycling center. If the site changes, it's going to be subject to additional review and potentially, depending on technical review committee determination, staff determination, scrutiny by planning and zoning and city council for a zoning amendment. So there's one objective, and that's to use the site as it is for a recycling center. It is partially consistent with the comprehensive land use plan. It is certainly the highest and best use. I can't imagine how this site could possibly be used in any other way and be productive and a good investment for the person or entity who might have their eye on it. But the most important thing is is the fact that it's reasonable and in the best interest of the city, because it needs a productive user. Not only that, it just needs to be cleaned up. It's a problem for the neighborhood and the area that it's in. And we've had nothing but encouragement along the way. As we always do, we've engaged the neighborhood and surrounding property owners. I think we sent out 68 letters introducing the project, inviting those individuals to a neighborhood meeting. We had five folks show up. Chad was nice enough to host that meeting at his office on Maple Avenue. Had 5 interested folks, and most were just happy to see something happening here that wasn't, attracting criminal or other untoward activity. I engaged with a few individuals who received the letter by telephone. So overall, an encouraging process, and would very much appreciate your support and recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions. Mike, you make valid points about the ingress, egress, and truck traffic. The property is facilitating truck traffic daily as we speak. It's a materials operation. They have had materials stored in the building. They've been shipping materials out to get it cleared out to have, how many people are at work in the building any given day just making the improvements? So, the facility is teeming with contractors and subcontractors, and so getting supplies out, how many? Tens of trucks a day. So the ingress, egress situation works as it is. I think what we're trying to do, they've got a long list of improvements that are absolutely critical to be made to the building to make it so that it can be occupied safely. And that's been the biggest part of this.
Well, and I apologize, I should have waited until you got up, Brian.
No.
And I apologize to Jamie too. It was just when I saw that on number 4, that if it is approved for the rezoning, what's there is there. There's no variation for the driveway if they work or not. I wasn't sure how much truck traffic you were going to have in. Didn't know if it was a recycling center for cardboard or glass or cans, or didn't know what the recycling center was for. And so I should have waited till you got up here. But I just saw number 4 and it said that if we approve it, it is, what you got is it, whether it works or not. And I should have waited till you got here.
No. I think those are perfectly valid observations and ones we need to discuss, because they're committing to what's there.
Ryan, do you want to?
And Alex is the one that's going to tell you the most specifically about how that traffic works, on a daily basis. But
So,
Would you come,
Oh, yeah,
please?
Sure. Okay. I'm actually wearing my Rapid Transit T-shirt that they gave me like 10 years ago when they were located in this facility. But if you're familiar with Rapid Transit, they're a shipping and receiving, a trucking company locally that's since moved out of the building. But they used every parking lot in that space, including the ones that we have designated for just cars and office parking. You're absolutely right. Like, all the concrete pads are kind of too short for a 53-footer, but 53-footers have been using that, and the pads have been extended repeatedly. And so far, unless it's a really bad driver, we haven't had any issues getting trucks in or out. So we do believe that we've had to repair the gates. They've all been left the same sizes, but except for the damage that we've repaired from previous drivers, we haven't had any issues.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
No, we're good.
Okay, thank you.
You done?
good, unless you are.
It might not be, hold on here. Anything?
No, I think it has gone through TRC and everything from the city standpoint, from, I guess, Chad's standpoint, everything is good from that engineering standpoint, it's driveways.
Anything over here?
Primarily post-consumer plastics.
Primarily post-industrial plastics, so we serve manufacturers. We're not a collections facility or like a center where someone would go with their community waste. It's, we will contract with large manufacturers and create service and circularity programs for them specifically. So within that realm, like we will do with post-consumer, which is just defined as used for its intended purpose, but that might be like shipping dunnage from a manufacturer, if that makes sense.
Are y'all just doing collection and redistribution to reprocessors, or are you gonna reprocess on site?
No, sir, we're actually a processor of that.
So you'll be doing something on site?
Yes, we're
Oh, that's
very
exciting.
much intending to use the site, and, you know, right now, there's 50 people, including contractors, working there. We expect there to be 100 people working there if we can get up to the size operation that we hope the building can handle. And we, you know, already have, I think, 5 guys right now who walk to work from the community. So I only expect it to get better and better for the community.
If you get 50 people working there, and it's a brownfield site, you probably have 50 people watching.
We have everybody watching us. I don't know how many people work at
Is that included?
They're all watching.
I'm just curious. Anybody got anything over here for Ryan or for? Nothing?
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
We just lay out questions at this point.
Yes, sir.
Could you just explain a little bit more or give some examples perhaps of post-industrial plastics? Like from local mills or whatever? I mean, are we talking spools or
Yeah.
what are we talking?
All of that. And I hope you're asking because you have a few million pounds a month of spools that you want dealt with, because that's what we're looking for, right? Chad has told me to speak less, so I'm going to try to keep it a very brief answer. But basically, Nina has a company called Stina, which does like advocacy and studies on the recycling industry. And she and I have gone back and forth repeatedly on what the ratio is from post-consumer to post-industrial scrap. It is a multiple of 1. So all of the scrap that you're aware of from a post-consumer perspective, there are many times that are used in the manufacturing of that. So for every car you buy, there's many multiples of that material that went into making that car. And that's what the post-industrial sector deals with. We're not like Alamance County, you know, collection facility. We're a massive, you know, at the full production capacity for this facility, we should be able to process 8 million pounds a month of plastic, which is a tremendous amount of, you know, waste that's being diverted from the landfill. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Oh, in terms of what we process, it would be anything that is used in manufacturing in significant volume and is plastic. So yes, spools, pallets, purgings, misforms, obsoletes, like all of that for every, you know, type of plastics industry is what we can run.
And then will you ultimately, or are you affiliated with any of the recycling companies, Republic or Waste, more the consumer types?
Okay, so the post-consumer folks are what we in the industry consider collection facilities. They're not actually recyclers, they're like aggregators, right? But they need companies like us that really convert things, right? We take it from like an aggregated baled product that Republic might gather, and then we are able to process it back into a usable material.
So like in addition to from individual industries, you might be getting things from either Republic or Waste.
Correct, yes. And we've had meetings already with Republic and Waste Management and a bunch of other companies who are like, please open up as quickly as possible because we need your services to manage our local programs. Yep.
No, I'm just curious.
Yes, sir. I like talking, go ahead.
Not as much as Ryan. When you process this material, this is not a zoning question,
Yes,
this is
sir.
a curiosity question. You turn it into a,
Okay, so we turn it into what we consider a regrind or a flake, which is basically a granular plastic.
pellet.
A pellet is the next stage,
Okay.
which is compounding. We call
Okay.
it reprocessing or compounding a regranular flake. The thing is, people used to traditionally just use pellet or repro pellet for everything that was a circularity project, right? But now more and more companies are able to use a regrind directly. So for instance, if you want to make like a Ford bumper, you can make that out of a regrind. You don't need to pelletize it. So to answer maybe the next question is, like, we do intend to add mechanical repelletizing equipment at some point. We already have a design for that for the building. But right now we're just going to produce a granule because that's really what can sell the easiest.
One other question of interest that has nothing to do with zoning. How much investment are you making?
A lot.
Ballpark.
I mean, for us, like a lot. We're not a established company that's stepping into this. Like, we're a group of people who set out to create an employee-owned company and pooled a bunch of money from folks who, passion project. So for us, I believe at this point our investment is like 3.65 million, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we're Hunt's #1 favorite customer right now, and King has 3 crews over at our plant, Associated Plumbing and Robinson Roofing, and like everyone's super thrilled that we're spending money.
Anybody got anything else for? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Boney, are you done, sir? Would you like to do an interview?
Tom can be
Would you like to do an interview after this is over?
I was going to ask what the 50 people who are there already are doing.
Yes, sir. So we have a number of our employees who are here supporting the crews, and then we have the rest of them are contractors who are working on the building. So we have full-time, multiple actually 2 different companies with 4 different electrical crews working on the building, plumbing company, roofing company,
So
2
it's
concrete
construction
companies.
renovation type things,
Correct,
not
sir.
the recycling.
We are also installing machinery right now in the hopes that you guys will approve us. And we're also, we had developed a certain amount of programs running through the building, and we are currently shipping a lot of that out. So we have to make space for the renovations that the city has asked us to make.
Thank you.
Are you done, Mr. Boney? Thank you. Anybody? Comments, questions, concerns? Comments, questions, concerns? Anybody here to speak to it? No? Against it? Whatever? We want to motion this?
I'll make a motion. Option 2, approve inconsistent with LUP, amend LUP. I make a motion to recommend approval of the request to rezone 18 properties from heavy industrial zoning district to the conditional industrial zoning district. The tract is 8.54 acres in size and is bounded by Durham Street, Hamilton Street, Elmira Street, Park Avenue, Robertson Street, and Adams Street, and it consists of elements tax identification numbers 126261 through 126267.
Hey, it looks, isn't it?
Lot ones, twos, and sixes. 126269. 126270, 126276, 126300, 126302 through 126305, and 126322 through 126324. While the request is inconsistent with the future land map in Section 4, land use of the comprehensive plan, in that it calls for the area of traditional residential and business park light industrial. A portion of the property is compatible with the land use plan. The property will be maintained and will operate as a single parcel with shared parking access and overall site features. The rezoning supports a variety of uses and offers economic development opportunities and revitalization efforts to the area. It transforms an obsolescent manufacturing space into an adaptive reuse. It promotes development to occur subject to the conditions set forth in the ordinance. However, it must be context sensitive to the established residential neighborhood. This action isn't reasonable in the public interest in that the comprehensive plan calls for the industrial uses in the area. Any future development would be required to comply with the city's Unified Development Ordinance and other local, state, and federal requirements.
Do you regret that? I wouldn't have made the damn thing. There's a motion on the table that was rather lengthy. Is there a second? Second. There's a motion and a second. Would you roll call the vote, please?
Sure. Chair Kirkpatrick?
Approve.
Vice Chair Beasley?
Approve.
Member Mills?
Approve.
Member Spotticini?
Approve.
Member Rayner?
Approve.
Member Saunders?
Proof.
You might not ask Mr. Boney, too. Only kidding. Motion approved.
So we will be moving your item forward to city council for a work session, and then a date of public hearing will be set, which then we will notify you when that occurs. I think both cases we're anticipating for May 19th.
Thanks, Jerry.
I would, sir, I would just like to say thank you for what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the support.
Any new business?
Yeah. Oh, and we were just gonna say, if anyone wants to come visit and see the process, or like, we're not a closed door facility, so,
Thank you.
yeah.
No new business? Motion to adjourn. Second. Wow. We're done. Thank you. Oh, yeah.